Hey everyone, it's Libby from maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people. It's WORIMI, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides and the universal energies. Righto, I'm going to do this reading on something that I wasn't actually planning on reading on today. But lo and behold, I have this deck out anyhow, the Runic Tarot, and it is absolutely apt. So news has come out in regards to, now let me get this information up. A potential pardon by the Orange Twerp of Diddy. And what's happening, so he wants to pardon, and here's how he might try to get one according to the legal experts. So he's got two paths that the Orange Twerp can take. Apparently a presidential pardon, which means that basically you don't do the time but the charges still remain, is supposed to go through a review board and go through a process, and it takes a lot of time. But apparently during the Orange Twerp's first regime, he bypassed the actual process of doing pardons and just sold them for $1 million each, allegedly entertainment only. So, but it also means that this is probably not the path he's going to take. So this is the clemency pardon path, I believe. But the other path that they're looking potentially at taking that he could take is now where did I find that? Because he was acquitted of racketeering and trafficking, the most serious accounts, but he was convicted of hiring workers for mass events, let me put it that way. So it reduced his potential prison sentence from decades to likely just a few years. Again, not believing the women. But, you know, that was of its time. Now, there are photographs emerging of the Orange Twerp and Diddy being bestest buddies back in the 1990s. And I've always felt that that Diddy and Epps had two different clientele. Diddy looked after these ones and Epps looked after these ones, and between them they basically had the whole system tied up. Okay, sorry if I'm talking in convoluted code. Got stung yesterday 3 times for apparently having backsides, cartoon backsides on my judgment cards yesterday. So just being a little bit overly cautious today to try and not get attention. However, what it looks like that the Orange Twerp's regime might argue is using the Mann Act. Now, apparently, Coombs was found guilty of, hiring workers under the Mann Act, a 1910 statute that has a history of being used to target black men and interracial couples, and was originally known as the White Slave Traffic Act. It's a 1910 act. Now, they may argue the clemency side of that by claiming that he was charged driven by sexist and racist assumptions. So I'm just going to have a look to see whether or not he's going to get pardoned. We know the Orange Twerp wants it. We know he and Coombs had met and were friends. They don't necessarily revolved in the same social set because they had two different target areas. Okay, one was the celebrities, one was the oligarchs. Let's have a look. Will the Orange Twerp, will he find a way to pardon Coombs? Will he find a way to pardon Coombs? Will he find a way? Let's have a look. Come on down. Oh, again, this might be a bit of a quick one. I think he might. Big plan coming forward. Big messaging coming forward. Laying waste to all that went before. Now, if they take the clemency rather than the straight pardon path, the clemency is they can wipe the conviction charges. Oh, man. The challenge is, though, is the defiance of the people that are coming out against this. They will demand to be heard. It's like the victims that are going to come forward early September in regards to EPS. There's this pushback defiance, which is going to be the challenge to this, what Trump's going to do. The Ace of Swords at the bottom. New beginning, cutting through, new legal proclamation. I just think, yes, he is. In the past, we've got the King of Swords, the legal action being taken, which put Coombs where he is. Crowning this reading, we've got Temperance, trying to spin it, trying to detoxify. And the Knight of Pentacles, the mercenary actions. I wouldn't be surprised if the Orange Twerp gets paid for this. I'm sure Diddy's got money somewhere in his offshore accounts or whatever. It'll be, you give me money and I'll do this. We got the Knight of Pentacles, the mercenary. Externally, making some sort of proclamation that is going to bring down the wrath of those below. Internally, tossing him out and then closing ranks behind him with that Six of Pentacles. Knight of Cups, hopes and fears. It's on the table. The Two of Wands, they're plotting about how they can bring this about. The Page of Swords and the Ace, three aces, all about new beginnings, new starts. I think they're going to bring something, they're going to play on the Man Act is what I'm getting there. And then we've got the manipulation. And then the Page of Pentacles, we've got 3 pages. And then we've got the World and ending. The ending coming. 3 pages. I mean, first of all, we've got young people here involved. But again, it can just be messaging being brought forward. Someone might spill the beans on the fact that the Orange Twerp got paid to do this. And it's part of this ending where the Orange Twerp is going to find himself out in the cold because of this with the, 7 of Swords, the abuse of power, the betrayal, the deceit, the sacrifice, a harsh truth coming forward. And Coombs might find himself back behind bars. We've got the Fool, foolishness, the 5 of Swords, which is basically, with Strength and the Emperor, it is the Orange Twerp making his decree. He's the president. He set the precedents that he could do this, and he hasn't had to go through any process. You've got the 10 of Cups there. So there'll be some celebration and saluting of him, but it is not going to end well with the Tower card. Okay, I just want to see whether Coombs is going to be put back, retried and put back in jail after this, because the Orange Twerp can only pardon on federal levels. Is Coombs going to find himself retried and back in jail on the state level? So, yeah, I hate to say it, I think he is. And I think when I read that article, yes, I think he's going to use the Mann Act, claiming it was racist and bigotry. Oh, not bigotry, what's the word? Yeah. His lawyers are working on it and they'll come up with an excuse, basically, for him to do so. But how's this going to end for Coombs himself? Now, what this is part of is that, if you heard a creaking, that was Bendy coming back inside, is the orange twerp want to set precedences for himself because he knows he's guilty of these same acts. Let's have a look. How's this going to end for Coombs? How's this going to end for Coombs? Just a couple of quick readings thrown out there. How's this going to end for Coombs? Page of Cups, something unexpected out of left field coming for him. End of a cycle, challenged by. How's it going to end for Coombs? Okay, I'm going to put that aside and I'm just going to ask a question. Is Coombs, yes, no cards, 12 yes, 12 no's, 2 blanks. Is Coombs going to end up being Luigi'd? And if you... Is Coombs going to end up being Luigi'd if he's let out? No, no. Okay, no, he's not. But something's happening that's going to bring the challenges. Something's going to be brought to an end for him. So it's not actual death. Right. Again, looking at that page of cups holding its 1 cup, here you've got the little squirrel scampering away with 1 cup, while the crusty old dragon chews on the branch in the forehand, not realizing that the page is doing this. So I think that the page is doing this, the squirrel is doing this. I think I don't think it's going to end well for him. In the past, we've got the Strength card, the Strength of Healing. And then we've got Boundaries at the top here with the 9 of Wands. I think he's going to get then charged at the state level. I think he's going to get charged at the state level. You've got the Hermit. Now, the Hermit can be investigation, introspection. It does have the rune up here that talks about the frustration and blocks. The Wheel of Fortune, karma will catch up with him and it's going to bring about his downfall. I think there'll be a state court case on this. Hopes and fears, 2 of Swords. The legal system is not done with him. The 2 of Cups, some sort of agreement. Knight of Pentacles, mercenary actions, and justice. This could also just be solid, dependable. Okay, thank you. I'm getting that there is going to be some sort of we'll take the case on for you. The Knight of Pentacles, bringing forward information about money, but also protection and dependability for whoever's bringing this court case. And there is going to be justice, and there is going to be the Knight of Wands, and whoever is bringing forward this information that's not yet revealed will burn the place down. I'm actually getting, and then we've got the King of Wands, a lot of fire here, even though this is a pentacle card. A lot of fire here. What I'm getting the feels is that we've got the Ace of Cups, the emotional, overwhelming, a new beginning. Queen of Wands, again, women bringing forward this information. It's going to bring about an ending, and we've got here the investigation of the devil. What I'm getting from these cards is that he's actually going to regret, because what's going to happen is, what I'm feeling is there's going to be a state case brought against him that is going to, you know how he got off the trafficking charges and ended up, only a couple of years instead of decades. I think he's going to end up with the decades. And the orange twerp and nobody in that regime will be able to help him, because I think they'll be gone by then. Or at least on their way out. Show me, show me, show me. Is there going to be another court case, a state court case, brought against Coombs? Yeah. Page of Wands. This was the challenge for the pardon, is the information being brought forward. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. This is about protection, nurturing, caring for what's coming forth. This could be the judge. He could get a female judge in this. Sword of Truth again at the bottom. The Sword of Truth in the past, judgment. Laying waste. Judgment in the past. Fortunately, no naked backsides in that one. And then we've got, the little squirrel scampering off, the Page of Cups unexpectedly out of left field, while those I'm going to say those in the regime, the crusty old, think that their rule is going to be law, are just going to be left chewing on that branch. The immediate future, I see this as the pardon, him getting released, but externally for him, we've got the Empress card. She is turning the wheel. This is the women. They aren't done with him yet. This is the women. They aren't done with him. And then we've got that Ten of Swords again internally. It's not going to end well. I think this, and then we've got the Wheel of Fortune proper. So the Empress is turning the wheel, and here is the wheel. Karma will catch up with him. Everything will be exposed. The Sun card, the Seven of Wands, the Wrath is going to be brought down, and we've got the Two of Swords. What's next? The Knight of Pentacles bringing forth the information. This is a crossroads, a legal crossroads. Knight of Pentacles bringing forth the information and then moving on, this case moving forward. I am really suspecting, and you've got Strength of Women on the bottom. You've got the Oligarchs, the King of Pentacles. You've got the Seven of Cups, the smoke and mirrors that these King of Pentacles are doing. However, then you've got the Ten of Wands, the current case. So this is the current energy. The current case planted the seeds for the future cases, and I think he's going back to jail. I think he's going to end up, what I'm getting from this and what my guides are telling me is that yes, the orange twerp will find a way to let him out. Yep, he will find a way. The manipulator will find a way to let him out. But I think Coombs might rue the day that he allowed that. If he had stayed in and just done his sentence, it would have been the end of it. But this is going to be just a new beginning for him. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. Okay, I kind of like how that ends. So just be aware. There's going to be outrage when he's released. But you and I know this is just the new beginning for him. And I think this is what's going to come out in a state court case is going to be wild and irrefutable. Okay, going to leave that there. Love to you at all. Bye-bye.